Okay, here we are doing the problems in lecture sheet. Okay, exercise 1, level 1. Problem number 1. A force of 5 I cap minus 3 J cap plus 2 K cap. All of you see the problem. Newton moves the particle from position vector R1 bar is equal to 2 I cap plus 7 J cap plus 4 K cap to the position vector R2 bar is equal to 5 I cap plus 2 J cap plus 8 K cap meter. All are in SI system only. Then what is the work done? So in this case, what is the work done? Here, this is the question they asked. Okay, now all of you look at the board. You see, force acts on a particle is given. Because of this force, the particle displaces from the position vector R1 to R2 bar. Okay, here, therefore, as the position vector from which the particle displaces and to which the particle displaces, both are given. That's why displacement vector S bar is equal to final position vector minus initial position vector. No, final position vector minus initial position vector is the displacement of the particle. Okay, displacement of the particle. So here R2 bar minus R1 bar means, you see, 5 I cap minus 2 I cap. That means 3 I cap plus 2 J cap minus 7 J cap, because we are subtracting R1 from this one. That's why plus 2 J cap minus 7 J cap means minus 5 J cap plus 8 K cap minus 4 K cap means plus 4 K cap. You will get. Okay, that much meter. So we are having displacement of the body in vector form and force acts on the body in vector form. To find the work done, what is the formula? We are given the force acts on a particle in vector form and displacement also in vector form. Now to obtain the work done, what is the formula? What is the formula? Come on, tell me. Are you getting audio free perfectly? Are you hearing my voice clearly? Yeah, dot product between F and S we have to do. Okay. Dot product between F and S, that gives the amount of work done. So F bar means, you write 5 I cap minus 3 J cap plus 2 K cap. All are in SI system only, because it is in Newton, it is in meter. So you directly substitute. Dot displacement vector means 3 I cap minus 5 J cap plus 4 K cap. Okay, therefore dot product means we have to multiply just the components of I cap coefficients, J cap coefficients and K cap coefficients. I cap coefficient means 5, here it is 3. That's why 5 into 3, 15, minus into minus, plus, here coefficient of J cap is 3, here it is 5, because already minus we have taken. Minus we have taken plus. So 3 into 5, so 15, plus 2, and here plus 4. So plus 2 into plus 4 means 8. So therefore 38, no? 38. So work done is equal to 38. We have substituted all data in SI system. Then what is the unit of this work done? What is the unit of work done? We got work done, no? So what is the unit of work done? We have substituted every data in SI system. So joule, you will get in joule. So this is the amount of work done. This type of problem is also important. Okay. Next. You see the second problem? All of you see the second problem? That is very, very important. Second problem. A uniform chain of length 2 meter is kept on the table such that a length of 60 centimeter hangs freely from the edge of the table. So here there is a table over which a chain is kept on the table so that 60 centimeter length of the chain is hanging from the edge of the table. Total length of the chain is 2 meter. Okay, here length of the chain hanging, small l is equal to 60 centimeter. That is equal to 0.6 meter. That is given. The total mass of the chain is also given. Total mass of the chain is equal to 4 kgs. Then what is the work done in pulling the entire chain onto the table? G is given. G is equal to 10 meter per second square. To pull the total hanging part onto the table, what is the amount of work to be done? Okay, so I think you have seen the problem. Now all of you look at the board. This was previously asked in mains. Okay, 3.6. Yeah, correct. Very good. Very good, Karthi. Vamshi Krishna, what is your doubt? Vamshi Krishna, what is your doubt? I am unable to understand. Vamshi Krishna. Why we are not using caps in the answer? Of course, the magnitude is given. In the answer, why we are not using caps means we calculated the magnitude. No, it is not in vector form. When you do here cap means I cap. In some cases, in some books, it may be give. Actually, we have to represent like this cap because unit vector it is. To represent this as a vector, we must represent with cap. Okay, Vamshi Krishna. Right. Next here you see the total length of the chain. All of you look at the board. The total length of the chain is 2 meter and its mass is 4 kg. At that place, acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second square. Okay. Now the chain is kept on the smooth table so that 60 centimeter length of the chain is hanging from the edge of the table. 60 centimeter length is hanging. In order to pull this hanging part totally onto the table, what is the amount of work to be done? Already we discussed the concept. Okay, here to displace the hanging part onto the table, you consider the center mass because the hanging part is not the point mass. Their mass is extended from this edge of the table up to the lower end. That's why you consider the center mass. Center mass is exactly at the midpoint now. At this midpoint, the mass of the hanging part is a small m. Here, total mass of the chain is capital M. Mass of the hanging part is small m. Okay. Here, instead of this total hanging part, at the center mass, you imagine the total mass of this hanging part at the center mass. To lift this center mass up to the top of the table, whatever the work done, that is the total work done to lift the hanging part onto the table. That's why to lift the center mass to the top of the table, what is the distance to be raised? H is equal to L by 2, no? So if you lift the center mass to a height equal to L by 2, then the center mass rises, reaches the top of the table. Then the total chain will move onto the table. Okay, that's why what is the amount of work to be done to lift the center mass onto the table? So work done to lift the center mass onto the table is equal to mass at the center mass, that is the mass of the hanging part, into Z into height. Up to what height it has to lift? That means that is equal to H, of course, in general. So this is equal to what is the mass of the hanging part? Here actually to lift the chain in upward direction, what is the force to be applied? Here the mass of the hanging chain is equal to M. The weight acts vertically downwards direction. Okay. To lift the chain in upward direction or to lift the center mass in upward direction, we have to apply the force. So what is the minimum force required? Minimum force required to lift the center mass upwards is equal to weight of this part, weight at the center mass only. So whatever the weight of this hanging part, equivalent when you apply at the center mass, it will lift upward direction. That's why the minimum force to be applied on the chain to lift upwards is equal to weight of the hanging part only. That's why force applied in upward direction is F into displacement H into cos. Force applied upward direction, displacement also upward direction. Cos 0, 1. That's why mgh. Okay, in this case, what is M? M means mass of the hanging part. Length of the hanging part is this one. Total mass of the chain is capital M by total length is L. Then what is the mass per unit length? M by L. If it is the mass per unit length, for this much length of the hanging part, what is the mass means into small l. It is the mass of the hanging part into Z into H means the height up to center mass is to be lifted. That is equal to L by 2 we got. Okay, this is equal to mg L square by 2 into capital L. Now we substitute the data. Capital M means mass of the entire chain. For G is given 10 into length of the hanging part. As we are substituting total data in SI system, small l must be in SI system. That is 0.6, no? So 0.6 whole square by 2 into total length of the chain, that is 2. So when you simplify them, you will get work done is equal to 3.6 joule. 3.6 joule. So in this way we have to do. If you are having idea, if you know the formula directly, W is equal to mgl square by 2L in this case, then we can do directly also. Okay. No, okay, Vamshi Krishna, if we apply the force on the chain, hanging chain upwards, which is equal to weight, then the chain will move slowly with uniform speed without acceleration. That is the minimum force needed. Okay, Vamshi Krishna. Right. Okay, next, third problem. All of you see the third problem. All of you see the third problem. A bucket filled with water weighing 20 kg is raised from a well of depth 20 meter. If the linear mass density of the rope is 0.2 kg per meter, the amount of work done is. So here there is a well. In a well, there is a water up to certain height. A bucket filled with water weighing 20 kg is raised. Here there is a bucket whose mass is capital M is equal to, or M1 is equal to 20 kg, is raised from a well of depth of the well h is equal to 20 meter. Linear mass density of the rope is given. Linear mass density of the rope lambda is equal to 0.2 kg per meter. What is the work to be done to lift it? Okay, I think you have seen the problem. Now all of you look at the board. All of you see the board. Yeah, 4400 joule. Very good. Very good, Rakshit. Right. You see here, work in order to lift the bucket with water. Here the mass of the bucket with water is given as 20 kg. Okay, to lift the water from the well of depth 20 meter, definitely there must be a rope of length 20 meter. Otherwise, we cannot lift the water from the well. Okay, that's why length of the rope taken is equal to 20 meter. Okay, now to lift the water, first we have to lift the rope also. Then we can lift the this bucket also. That's why work done to lift the water is equal to work done to lift the rope plus work done to lift the water. Here, rope means it is an extended object. The mass is extended from this end to this end to up to certain length. That's why mass is this rope is the extended object. To lift the extended object upwards, you consider the central mass. Central mass is here. At the central mass, the mass of the entire rope, say M2, the M2 lies here. To lift the central mass to the top of the well, whatever the work done, we have to find M2 into Z into here. This total length is H. So to lift the central mass to the top of the well, the central mass is to be lifted to a height equal to half of the length of the rope or half of the depth of the well. That's why H by 2. This is the work done to lift the hanging rope onto the top of the well. Plus, here when compared with this length of the rope or depth of the well, the height of the bucket that is very small. That's why the bucket can be treated as the point mass. The bucket can be treated as the point mass. Okay, that's why just to lift this bucket to the top of the well, the bucket is to be lifted to a height equal to H. That's why mass of the bucket M1 into Z into height to which it is lifted H. Okay, this is equal to, here work done by external force they ask, not work done by gravity. Work done by gravity means we have to put minus sign because weight M2Z acts downwards, M1Z acts downwards, and we are lifting the bodies in upward direction. That's why negative work is done. Here, what is the work done by applied force only? Okay, so M2 means mass of the hanging rope. Here, linear mass density is given. Linear mass density means mass per unit length is lambda. Mass per unit length of the rope is if the mass per unit length of the rope is lambda, Then for this much length of the rope, what is the mass means? Into length of the rope, that is equal to depth. Depth is the length of the rope, no? Into z into h by 2 plus m1z into h. Okay, now you substitute the data. While before substituting the data, you check all the units. It is given in SI system, it is in SI system, it is in SI system. Now we substitute directly. Lambda means 0.2 Ks into G means 10. Okay, into H into H square, that means 20 square by 2 is there, plus M1 20 Ks into G 10 into H 20. Now you simplify them, you will get, what is the answer we got? Vamshi Krishna, Ganesh, okay. We got 4400. We will get 4400. So 4400 joules. 4400 joules. So this is also important problem. Okay, Likit, I will explain. Here, to lift the water from the well, what is the work done? That is the question. What is the work to be done? They asked. Here, whenever the bucket is filled with water totally, whenever the bucket is filled with water, the mass of the bucket filled with water is 20 K is given. To lift the bucket with water upwards, at least we need the rope having length equal to depth of the well. Okay, we need the lambda is given. Now you read the problem. Lambda is the linear mass density. Lambda, linear mass density, means mass per unit length of the rope. Linear mass density means mass per unit length. Mass of the rope by length of the rope, that is equal to h. Mass per unit length, mass by length, that is the linear mass density of the rope, that is given. That means indirectly mass of the rope is given. Okay, so to lift the bucket with water upwards, first we have to, because the rope is also having some weight, that's why we have to pull the rope upward to the top of the well, and then we have to then at simultaneously, of course, the bucket will also be lifted to the top of the well. Okay, so what is the total work done? Work done to lift the rope, work done to lift the rope to the top of the well, plus work done to lift the bucket to the top of the well. Okay, suppose 2 ropes are there, then into 2 we have to write. Okay, so here mass of the rope means mass per unit length of the rope is given. That means for unit length of the rope, this is the mass. Then for this much length of the rope, what is the mass means? Linear mass density into length of the rope. Length of the rope is equal to depth of the well only, no? Into Z, into central mass is to be lifted to a because already I said in last classes, if the length of the hanging rope is L, then what the work done to lift the hanging rope is equal to work done to lift the central mass of the hanging rope to the top of the well. Central mass lies exactly at the midpoint because it is a uniform rope. That's why the central mass is to be lifted to a height equal to half of the length of the rope, that is equal to h by 2. That's why height to which central mass lifted is h by 2 plus m mass of work done to lift the water bucket up to the top. That's why m1 g into h. H means height up to which the bucket is to be lifted. Because m1g is the weight of the bucket, the equivalent force we have to apply on the bucket in upward direction. So force to be applied on the bucket in upward direction is m1g into height up to which the bucket is to be lifted to the top of the well, means that is equal to depth of the well h. That's why I have substituted like this. Okay, Likit. Okay, are you followed? Right. Next, fourth problem, very very important. It was previously asked, and I think in MSET they asked, a block of mass m is lowered with the help of a rope of negligible mass through a distance d with an acceleration of g by 3. Work done by the rope on the block is, here by means of a rope, a block is lifting down, the block is moving down, lowered. A block of mass m is lowered by means of a rope of negligible mass. Mass of the rope is negligible. Okay. Here the distance up to which it is lifted, it is lowered down is d. With what acceleration it is lowered? That acceleration a is equal to z by 3 in downwards direction. What is the work done by rope? That is important. Work done by rope, they asked. Work done by rope. W is equal to question mark. Okay, all of you see the problem first. Fourth problem, all of you read. Okay, have you seen the problem? A block of mass m is lowered with the help of a rope of negligible mass through a distance d with an acceleration of g by 3. Work done by the rope on the block is how much? That is the question they asked. Okay, right. Now look at the board, all of you. Yeah, Vamshi Krishna, correct. You are right. Okay, you see here, work done by the rope means while the block is moving down because of weight mg acts vertically downwards direction. At the same time, it is not freely falling body because it is fixed with rope. That's why the rope pulls the block in upward direction with certain force that is called tension. Okay, tension the rope is T upwards. Even then, as the block move downwards means what is the which force is more? Mg is more or T is more? On the block along vertical direction, two forces acts. T upwards and weight mg downwards. Even then, as the block comes down with an acceleration A, is mg is more or T is more? Mg is more. So what is the net force acts on the block downwards? So mg minus T is the net force. That is equal to m into A. So T is equal to mg minus ma. That is equal to mg minus m into A means g by 3 given. This is equal to, when you take LCM, then you will get 2mg by 3 now. It is the tension in the rope. Here, whenever the block is coming down here through a distance d, the tension opposes the displacement of the block downwards now. What is the work done by rope means? By means of rope means by applying the, here, the rope applies the force on the block in upward direction and does some work. What is that work done? They asked. That means indirectly they asked, what is the work done by the rope, or what is the work done by the tension in the rope? That is the question they asked. Okay. Therefore, work done by tension W is equal to, general formula is Fs cos theta. F means tension T upwards, displacement downwards, into cos. Tension and displacement both are in opposite direction. That's why 180. Therefore, work done is equal to, tension means tension force is 2mg by 3. 2mg by 3 into displacement is given as d into cos 180 minus 1. Therefore, work done by the rope or tension is equal to minus 2mgd by 3. It's a very, very important problem. What is the work done by weight? Weight acts downwards direction, displacement of the block also in the downwards direction. That's why mg into d, force into displacement into cos 0, because weight and displacement both are in the same direction. So in this case, what is the work done by weight or gravitational force is equal to Fs cos theta. That is same formula. Whenever force and displacement both are in the same direction, you need not write cos theta, because cos 0 1. Okay, so F means weight, S means displacement is equal to d into cos 0. That's why work done by gravity is equal to simply mgd. It is the work done by gravity. Okay, right. Okay, next you see another problem. Fifth problem you see. Fifth problem. All of you see the fifth problem. Fifth problem. A uniform rod of length 2 meter and 5 kg mass is lying on the horizontal surface. The work done in raising the one end of the rod with the other end in contact with the surface until the rod makes an angle 30 degree with the horizontal. I think you can do this problem directly because already I discussed the concept and same formula we had to use. So you do that problem. Next problem I will do. Sixth problem. Fifth problem you do. That is a homework. Okay. Next sixth problem you see. All of you see the sixth problem. All of you see the sixth problem. A force acting on the particle that is given in vector form, that is equal to 2 I cap plus 3 j cap Newton. Work done by the force is 0 when the particle is moved along the line 3y plus kx is equal to 5. It is the path of the particle is given. Work done is equal to 0 given. Okay, then what is the value of k? It's a very important problem. Previously asked problem. Okay, now I think you have seen the problem, sixth problem. Now all of you look at the board. All of you see here. Fifth sum direct problem, no, Karthi? Fifth sum is direct problem, no. Already in last classes, in note points I discussed when the rod is like this. When to displace the rod through an angle theta, then what is the work done? That is a formula. That is only no. Already I said direct formula. That's why I'm not discussing. So you do homework. Okay. If you are not getting, yes, tomorrow you'll ask me. I will explain. Okay. Next, very important problem. All of you see the board. Force acting on the particle is this one. The particle moving along the straight line path given, of course, it is the path, straight line path only, no, because y, x are the variables in which there are no squares for the variables y and x. That's why it is a straight line path. Okay. Straight line path means we can write, you see, 3y is equal to minus kx plus 5, no, or y is equal to minus k by 3 into x plus 5. This is 1 and it is 2. Okay, here force is applied. This force is applied on a body and the body travel along this path. But no work is done. Suppose when the body travel along this direction, it is represented with this y is equal to minus mx plus c like this. Okay, if the force is applied on a body perpendicular to its displacement, because along which straight line path the body travels, that is the direction of the displacement also. When you apply the force on a body at right angles to the direction of motion of the body, in such case theta 90. That's why work done is 0, no, because work done is equal to fs cos 90, 0, no. That means this displacement and force both are perpendicular to each other. Already force is given and displacement is given. Force and displacement both are given. Force and displacement path both are given. As both are perpendicular to each other, the product of the slope of this force and this straight line path must be minus 1, no? Whenever two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, whenever, what is your Sai Umesh, what is your doubt? Sai Umesh, what is your doubt? 5 by 3, okay. 5 by 3, right. So here, as the path along which the particle travel is the direction of the displacement and force is applied perpendicular, then only work done is equal to 0. That's why both are perpendicular. Here the path along which the particle travels is given, along which direction force applied is given. We can find the slope of the straight line path and slope of the force also. As these two are perpendicular, then the product of slopes is equal to minus 1, no? When two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, the product of their slopes is equal to 1. That is the straight line condition, no? For two straight lines be perpendicular to each other, then the condition is the product of slopes must be equal to minus 1. The product of slopes must be equal to minus 1. What is the slope of this one? Slope of this force means y component by tan theta is equal to y by x. Y means j cap quotient 3 by x means 2 into slope of this straight line. already it is just like y is equal to minus mx plus c. Here m is the slope, no? Of course, we should not write, actually, we should not write here minus m. Straight line equation is this one. Instead of m here, minus k by 3 is there. So minus k by 3 you write instead of m2. That is equal to minus 1. Of course, minus minus cancel, 3 cancel. Then k is equal to 2, no? So this is the value of k. In this way, we have to do. Yeah, slope of the any vector. Slope of the any vector means angle made by this force vector with positive x-axis is given by tan theta is equal to y by x, no? Already I said angle made by the given vector with positive x-axis tan theta, that is equal to y by x, no? Work done is given 90, no? Here the particle travel along the straight line path or along the straight line path. That straight line path is this one. Force acts on the body in one direction, but along which path the particle travel, that is the direction of displacement, no? Whenever force applied on the particle perpendicular to their displacement, then only cos 90, then only work done becomes 0. Work done is 0, that is given in the problem. Work done on the particle is 0, that is given, no? Okay, that's why I have taken perpendicular to each other. Whenever this straight line and this vector both are perpendicular to each other, then the product of their slopes must be equal to minus 1. Because in straight lines, we are having one condition in mathematics. When two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, then the product of their slopes, in that mathematics, we got minus 1. That's why m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1, you write. Which you need, Mahesh? Which you need? Which you need to explain? Force is always along a straight line. It acts, no? Along the straight path, the force acts on the particle, no? Here the slope of this vector, that means angle made, vector is always like this. Angle made by this vector with x-axis, positive x-axis say theta. Then tan theta is equal to y by x. That is the formula for slope, no? This is the slope, m. M is equal to tan theta, that is equal to y by x. How perpendicular? It is given in the problem only. How many times I have to say? Look it. Here, the particle travel along the straight line path. Okay. And applied force is this one. Due to this applied force on the particle, no work is done. The work done is 0 given. When does the work done by the force on a body is 0? Whenever the displacement and force both are perpendicular to each other. Whenever displacement and force both are perpendicular to each other, then only cos 90 is 0. That's why work done is 0. So indirectly it is given that the force and the displacement both are perpendicular to each other. Both are perpendicular to each other. Okay, that's why the path along which the particle travel and force applied both are perpendicular to each other. When these two are perpendicular to each other, definitely the product of slopes of these two, force and this straight line path, that is equal to minus 1. I applied that mathematics condition. Okay, right. Next, you go to next problem. Now you see 7th problem. All of you see the 7th problem. Seventh problem. A particle of mass 0.1 case. A particle of mass 0.1 case is subject to a force which varies with the distance as shown in the figure. So force varies with the distance according to the graph given. Displacement S in meter, that is given according to the graph like this. Now velocity of the particle at x is equal to 12 meter is how much? So at x is equal to 12 meter, what is the velocity of the particle? That is the question they asked. Here the starts from rest at x equals 0. At x equals 0, initial velocity of the particle is 0. Okay, have you seen the problem? Now all of you look at the board. 40 meter per second. Yeah, very good. Karthi, Lakshmi, Sujan, Karthik, Sriram. Okay, very good. Siddharth, nice. Okay, Pavan, Madhur, Mehta. Okay, right. Okay, all of you look at the board. Here the force acts on a particle varies with the displacement according to the graph given like this. That means at first the force gradually increases up to 4 meter displacement, and then it remains constant up to 8 meter displacement, and then the force decreases with the displacement, and finally it becomes 0 at x is equal to 12 meter. So at x is equal to 12 meter, what is the velocity of the body? Because as the force is applied, the work is done on the body. Due to that, the velocity of the body goes on increase, because initially the body is at rest. When force is applied, along the direction of applied force, the body accelerates and velocity goes on increase. And at x is equal to 12 meter, what is the velocity they asked? Okay, here at x is equal to 0, that means at initial velocity of the body given 0. At 12 meter, what is the velocity of the body they asked? That means suppose up at x equal up to x equal 12 meter, whatever the work done on the body, that is equal to change in kinetic energy, according to work energy theorem. According to work energy theorem, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, means final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So because force displacement graph is given, so area under the graph is equal to work done. No, we know the area under the graph, we can calculate. Okay, that is equal to final kinetic energy half mv square minus initial kinetic energy half mv square. Then we can do. So work done is equal to area under the graph, area under graph. That is equal to final kinetic energy, means half m into final velocity at x is equal to 12 meter. They asked. That's why velocity square minus initial velocity square half m square. Now you substitute the area under the graph. Here they ask the velocity at x equal 12. That's why up to 12 we had to find the area under the graph up to x equal 12 meter. If they ask what is the velocity at 8 meter, x is equal to 8 meter, means you have to find the area under the graph up to 8 meter only. What is the velocity at 4 meter, means you have to find the area under the graph up to 4 meter only. That based on the given problem. Okay. Now area under the graph up to 12 meter, because they asked the velocity at 12 meter. So up to 12 meter, what is the area under the graph, means it is just like a trapezium. Area of the trapezium. Area of the trapezium means half into sum of the lengths of the two parallel sides. This length is equal to 12 meter. This length is equal to 8 minus 4. That is equal to 4. That's why 12 into 4. Okay. Into perpendicular distance between two parallel sides. It is one. These two are the parallel sides. No, perpendicular distance between two parallel sides is equal to 10. You see, this displacement is in SI system. Force is also in SI system given. That's why you can substitute directly. If it is in centimeter, if it is in Newton, then you convert them into meter and you substitute. Okay. This is the area under the graph, which is equal to half into mass of the body. Mass of the body is given as 0.1 kg into final velocity v square minus u is 0. That's why u is 0 at x equals 0. That's why initial velocity is 0. So initial kinetic energy is 0. Okay. Now 1 by 2 cancel. Therefore, v square is equal to, it is 480 into 10. 480 into 10. So 4800. So 48, v square is equal to 4800. So what about the, is it correct? Mass of the body is 0.1 kg. 12 plus 12 plus 4. Okay. Right. Here it is sum of the lengths of the two parallel sides. No, 12 plus 4. Very good. So 12 plus 4. Therefore 1600 you will get. Okay. 1600 you will get. Therefore v is equal to 40 meter per second. No. So this is the velocity of the body at 12 meter. Okay. If they ask velocity of the body at 8 meter, means you have to find the area up to 8 meter only. This area only you find, and you calculate v. That is the velocity at this point. So at what position they asked the velocity, up to that only we had to find the area under the graph. Okay, I think you could understand this problem. Next, you see the next problem. You see the 8th problem. It was also previously asked problem. If anybody else did not attend the class, I will upload the video. You go through that video. Today, I will upload the video. Yesterday, work done concept, everything I will upload in YouTube so that you can go through that YouTube. You go through that video, okay? Now, all of you see the 8th problem. A particle of mass m is projected with a velocity u at an angle of alpha with horizontal. So one particle is projected at with a velocity u at an angle of projection alpha. At an angle of projection alpha. Work done by the gravity during its descent from the highest point. From the highest point during its descent, what is the work done from the highest point to the position where the velocity vector makes an angle alpha by 2. So whenever the particle reaches certain position, velocity direction makes an angle alpha by 2 with horizontal. At the time, what is the work done? So work done in this case we have to find. Okay, good problem. All of you see that problem. Okay, now all of you look at the board. Very, very important problem. Yeah, at 4 meter, what is the velocity means just area of the triangle. We have to find area under the triangle only. That's all. Based on the shape, we have to find area. Okay, right. Next, it is a very, very important problem. All of you see that 8th problem. A particle of mass m. Here, mass of the particle is given m. It is projected with a velocity u at an angle of projection alpha. Okay, now work done by the gravity during its descent from highest point. From the highest point during its descent means while coming down. Whenever its direction of motion makes an angle alpha by 2 with horizontal. What is the work done? Whenever their velocity vector makes an angle alpha by 2 with horizontal, what is the work done? So whenever its velocity vector makes an angle alpha by 2 with horizontal, at that time, the body comes through a distance. Whenever the body comes from this position to this position, along vertical direction, what is the distance traveled means that is say y. Okay, if you know y, then weight of the body always acts vertically downwards direction. That's why work done is equal to work done by gravity. They asked it. In the problem, they asked work done by gravity. No, work done by gravity. They asked weight mg downwards direction into whenever the body comes from this position to this position along the direction of weight or along vertically downwards direction. What is the distance traveled means y. If you know y, that is the answer. So we have to find the y. That is our task. Okay, we have to find the y value. Here, whenever the velocity at this point is equal to v, then their component along x-axis is equal to v cos alpha by 2. No, but v along x component of velocity is always equal to initial velocity along x-axis u cos theta, u cos alpha. Okay, velocity of the oblique projectile along x-axis at any instant before reaches the ground is same as the x component of velocity at the point of projection. At the point of projection, x component of velocity or horizontal component of velocity is u cos alpha. At any point before reaches the ground, the horizontal component of velocity is this only. Suppose if the velocity at this point is v, then horizontal component of velocity is equal to vx is equal to v cos alpha by 2. We can write now. Vertical component of velocity say vy. Okay, from this vx means v cos alpha by 2. That is equal to u cos alpha. So from this v is equal to u cos alpha into secant alpha by 2. We can write now, because by cos alpha by 2. That means in the numerator we can write secant alpha by 2. It is the velocity. Now along vertical direction, what is the velocity? Along vertical, what is the velocity component at the time? whenever it makes its direction of motion makes an angle alpha by 2 with the horizontal, what is the vertical component of velocity? Because when you know the vertical component of velocity along vertical direction, what is the distance traveled, we can calculate. That's why I am finding vertical component of velocity. Vy is equal to v sine alpha by 2, no? V sine alpha by 2. This is equal to v means u cos alpha into secant alpha by 2 into sine alpha by 2. Therefore, u cos alpha into, here sine alpha by 2 by, here 1 by cos alpha by 2 we can write. Sine alpha by 2 by cos alpha by 2 means tan alpha by 2. It is the vertical component of velocity. Now, along vertical direction, along y-axis or along vertical direction, initial velocity. At this point, initial velocity along vertical direction is 0, no? Because at this point, it has only velocity along horizontal direction. Along vertical direction, velocity is 0. That's why initial velocity along vertical direction is 0. Acceleration. Whenever the body comes from this position to this position, the acceleration acts on the body is vertically downwards direction only. Body also coming vertically downwards. Body also coming downwards only. That's why acceleration is plus z only. Okay. Displacement. Displacement s is equal to, we had calculate y, that is equal to question mark. If you know the displacement, you can calculate work done. And final velocity along vertical direction, v is equal to vy, that is equal to u cos alpha into tan alpha by 2. Okay, now what is the relation among these four? Of course, by work energy theorem also we can calculate directly. By work energy theorem also we can calculate. Okay, from v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V means vy. V square means u square cos square alpha into tan square alpha by 2 minus u square means 0 is equal to 2 into a means z into s means y. So from this y is equal to u square cos square alpha into tan square alpha by 2 whole by 2z. It is the displacement. Therefore, work done is equal to mgy, no? From equation 1. From 1, w is equal to mz into y. Therefore, mz into y means this one. U square cos square alpha tan square alpha by 2 whole by 2 into z. Gz cancel. Therefore, work done is equal to half mu square cos square alpha into tan square alpha by 2. Half m square cos square alpha into tan square alpha by 2. So this is the answer. By work energy theorem also we can calculate the same problem. How g is taken positive? Somebody else asked me. You see, whenever the body travels from this position to this position, we have considered the displacement along vertically downwards direction only, no? Body is descending. That's why along vertical direction, what is the displacement means y we have taken. Weight in this direction and the displacement of the body along vertical direction also downwards. That's why we have taken a positive. A is equal to plus z in this case. Okay, Redmi. So you feed your just you save your name, not Redmi, Samsung, iPhone, like that. Okay, Redmi. Tomorrow you change your name. Tomorrow you have to come with your name. Okay. Right. I will upload the video now, Siddharth. Yeah, I will explain with work energy theorem also. Second method, method 2. By work energy theorem also we can calculate. Here, whenever the body comes from this position to this position, only gravity alone acts on the body along vertically downwards direction. No other force are there. No other force are there. Okay. So work done by gravity. Work done by gravity it is. Work done by gravity is equal to change in kinetic energy, means final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Of course, at the highest point, initial kinetic energy is 0. Final kinetic energy means half mv square minus initial kinetic energy half mv square. Okay. Here, half m into velocity of this body. Whenever the body comes from this position to this position, what is the velocity of the body? V. Velocity of the body V means this one, no? Here velocity of the body, in order to find the kinetic energy of the body here, what is the velocity means this one, not components. We should not take components. Actual velocity of the body is this one. That's why half m into v square. V square means already we got this one. That's why u cos alpha into secant alpha by 2 whole square minus half m into initial velocity. At the highest point, initial velocity is equal to, it has only u cos alpha. It has only u cos alpha. That is only the velocity of the body at the highest point. That's why u cos alpha whole square. Therefore, you square this one. Half m u square cos square alpha into secant square alpha by 2 minus half mu square into cos square alpha. Okay. In both of them, we can take half m u square cos square alpha, we can take common, then of secant square alpha by 2 minus 1. No? What is secant square alpha by 2 minus 1? What is secant square alpha by 2 minus 1? Tan square alpha, no? Secant square alpha minus 1 means that is equal to tan square alpha, no? Because tan here, since secant square alpha minus tan square alpha is equal to 1, no? Is it correct or not? Okay, so from this secant square alpha minus 1 is equal to tan square alpha, no? That's why this can be written as tan square alpha. Therefore, work done by gravity is equal to half mu square cos square alpha into tan square alpha by 2. Because of course here alpha by 2 is there. I have written alpha by 2. Okay, so you see these two both are equal, no? So by work energy theorem also we can calculate like this. Okay. Right. Then we move to next problem. You see the ninth problem. All of you see ninth problem. A block of mass m is pulled along a horizontal surface by applying a force at an angle theta with the horizontal. So a block is pulled. A block is kept on the horizontal surface and it is pulled by a force, constant force, by applying the force at an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay, if the block travels with uniform velocity and has a displacement d and the coefficient of friction mu, then find the work done by the applied force. So here the block travel with the constant velocity and whenever it has displaced through a distance equal to d, what is the work done by the applied force? Work done by applied force they asked. Okay, all of you look at the board. Yeah, option is 2. Correct. You are right. Harshit, Karthik. Okay, Karthik, you are also okay. 2. Second option is correct. Okay, we will discuss. You see, a force is applied, a constant force, say F, that is not given. You imagine a force F is applied by making an angle theta with a horizontal. Okay, coefficient of friction between the body and the block and horizontal surface is given. So because of this applied force, the block is displaced through a distance d. Okay, At the moment whenever the block has displaced through a distance d, what is the work done by applied force, they asked. Here the body travel with uniform velocity, that is given, that is important condition. Uniform velocity. The body has displaced through a distance d with uniform velocity, that is very, very important. Here, you resolve this force into components. In this direction, the force component is F cos theta. In this direction, force component is F sin theta. No? Okay. So here, whenever the body is moving in this direction, at the same time, opposite to the motion of the block, here frictional force, kinetic friction acts. No? As the body move with constant velocity means, definitely along horizontal direction, the net force is 0. Along horizontal direction, F cos theta acts in this direction and Fk in this direction. So F cos theta is equal to Fk. Okay. Now this is equal to F cos theta is equal to Fk means, you see, weight mg acts vertically downwards direction. Weight of the body in downwards direction. So Fk means mu k into mu k is equal to mu only given. Mu k is equal to mu. Mu into normal reaction. So mu into, in this case, what is the normal reaction? Weight mg acts downwards direction and force component F sin theta acts in upward direction. Even then, the net, as the block is in contact with the floor, definitely mg greater than F sin theta. So net force acts on the block downwards is equal to mg minus F sin theta. With this force, the block pushes the horizontal force in downwards direction. The equivalent reaction acts. That's why n is equal to this one. Therefore, you bring F terms one side, then F cos theta plus here minus mu F sin theta. No, you bring to left, then minus plus mu F sin theta is equal to mu mg. Okay, therefore you take F common. F of cos theta plus mu sin theta is equal to mu mg. From this, F is equal to mu mg by cos theta plus mu sin theta. Okay, now this is equation 1. Here, what is the work done by applied force, they asked. Therefore, work done by applied force is equal to, whenever the force is applied in this direction, because of this force component only work is done to displace the body through a distance d. That's why work done by applied force is equal to force component along the direction of displacement F cos theta into displacement S. Of course, S means d. So F cos theta into d. Because force component F cos theta in this direction, displacement also in the same direction. As force component, displacement both are in the same direction, there is no angle between force component and displacement. That's why force into displacement directly gives work done. Okay, therefore F means, from this equation you substitute F value, mu mg by cos theta plus mu sin theta into, that is instead of F I have substituted, here d you write into cos theta. Mu mg d cos theta by cos theta plus mu sin theta. Mu mg d cos theta by cos theta plus mu sin theta. This is the work done by applied force. Okay. Work done by friction, if they ask, work done by friction is equal to Fk in this direction, displacement in this direction. That's why Fk into d into sin cos 180 minus theta. That means minus Fk into d. So work done by friction is equal to, work done by friction is equal to minus Fk into d. Fk is equal to F cos theta, no? So F cos theta value you substitute. F means this one into cos theta you write. That's all. You will get same, but you will get negative work. Okay. Okay, right. Madhur, where you are having doubts? Madhur, where you are having doubts? Come on, you respond, Madhur. You respond in chat box. Madhur Mehta. F cos theta. Okay. You see, here you resolve this force into components. F cos theta in this direction, because angle is this one. That's why this component is F cos theta. This component is F sin theta. Okay, because of this force component F cos theta only, the block will move forward direction. But because of this force, as the block move in this direction with a constant velocity or uniform velocity, net force in this direction must be 0. That means to balance this force, definitely there is a friction force acts in opposite direction. No? There is a friction force acts on the body in opposite direction. No? Okay, So whenever these two are equal, then net force acts on the body along this direction is 0 and the body travel with uniform velocity. That's why here F cos theta is equal to Fk. Okay, Madhur Mehta. Okay, here whenever the body travel with constant velocity, in that case acceleration 0 means net force is 0. That's why I wrote the same, net force is 0. Net force means on the block along horizontal direction as the body travel with uniform velocity, net force is 0 because acceleration 0. Net force means along horizontal direction on the block there are two forces, F cos theta in this direction, Fk in this direction. So what is the net force means? F cos theta minus Fk, that is equal to 0. F cos theta minus Fk is equal to 0 means F cos theta is equal to Fk only, no? Okay, right. So this is the problem they asked. Next, level 2. In level 2 we have to do the some more problems. In practice sheet you have to do the problems today. Okay, today you do the problems in practice sheet. All of you read the next problem. In level 2 first problem you read. In level 2 first problem, that model is very very important. In level 2 first problem you read. Okay, have you seen the problem? Okay, now all of you look at the board. In level 2 first problem, if a force F is equal to ax square plus bx plus c acts on a block along positive x direction, it experiences a force. In the expression of force, a, b, c are constants. Find the work done by the force on the block if the block displaces from, when the block displaces from x equal 0 to x is equal to d. What is the work done? That is the case they asked. Here the force is applied on the block along a positive x-axis, but here the force acts on a body varies with the position, no? That means variable force acts on them. Whenever the body displaces from x equal 0 to x equal d, what is the work done? Already I said in the concept also. Okay, whenever variable force acts on the body along x-axis, then along x-axis for the small displacement dx, what is the work done? Means for the small displacement dx, work done is equal to f into dx. Because this displacement is along positive x-axis, force is also acting along positive x-axis only. In the problem it is given. That's why work done is also positive. Therefore, total work done to displace the body from x equal 0 to d is how much? Means integral dw between the limits x equal 0 to x is equal to d. Integral f dx, dw means f dx 0 to d. So f means x is equal to 0 to d. F means this formula we had substitute, ax square plus bx plus c into dx. Okay, this is equal to now integral ax square dx plus integral bx into dx plus integral c into dx. First, integral ax square into dx means a is constant, you keep aside, into integral x square dx. Integral x square dx means how we can write x cube by 3, no? Because power will be raised by 1 and whatever the power you will get here, you have to write in the denominator. So x cube upon 3 plus, okay, here you write this one. So directly you write the constant a cube like this only into x square integration is x cube by 3 plus constant b into integral x into dx. means x square by 2 plus integral c into dx means c is constant. Integral dx means x. Limits, we have to substitute x equals 0 to d. Of course, when you substitute 0, as in all terms x is there, then all terms become 0. We had substitute only upper limit, that's all. So total work done is equal to a into d cube by 3 plus b into d square by 2 plus c into d. So this is the net work done to displace the body from x equal to 0 to x is equal to d. This model is important. Okay. Yeah, answer is A. Next problem also previously asked problem, that is also very, very important. All of you see that problem. The force acts on a body varies with position coordinates given by k of minus k of y I cap plus x j cap Newton given, where k is the positive constant, acts on a particle moving in xy plane starting from the origin. The particle is taken along the positive x-axis to the point A0 and then parallel to y-axis to the point AA. Here at first, because of this force, starting from the origin, the particle is taken along x-axis to the point A, 0 and then parallel to y-axis to the point A, A. Okay, then the total work done by the force on the particle is how much? So you see the problem? Okay, I think you have seen the problem. Now all of you look at the board. Option C is correct. Very good, Siddharth. Option C is correct. You see, here the particle, by applying this force, the particle is displaced through a point A0 from origin, then to the point AA. That means this is the point AA. That means along x-axis it travel a distance A, and along y-axis also it travel a distance A. That's why the coordinates of this point are AA. Okay, then what is the amount of work done in this case? So here we have to use, no doubt, force is given in vector form. Displacement is initially it is in this direction, finally in this direction. Displacements are also in different directions. That's why work done is equal to F into F bar into dr. For the small displacement dr bar, the work done is this one. So total work done is equal to integral F bar dot dr bar. F bar dot dr bar. F bar is given. What about dr bar? R bar is equal to, we know, position vector of the particle. Suppose when the particle lies at any point here, whose coordinates are xy, position vector is equal to, we can write xi cap plus yj cap. No, for the small displacement in the position vector, dr bar is equal to, we can write dx I cap plus dy j cap. Okay, therefore work done is equal to integral F bar means, you substitute this one, minus k into y I cap plus x j cap dot dr bar means dx I cap plus dy j cap. Okay, this is the work done. So we have substituted the limits from 0, 0 to here. What is the work done? Here they asked, the particle first displaces from origin to a point A0, then parallel to y-axis to the point AA. Total work done by the force. Okay, total work done they asked. So from 0, 0 to AA we had to find total work done from 0, 0 to AA. So initially the particle is at 0, 0. Finally the particle is at AA. This is equal to minus k is constant, you write outside, minus k into integral 0, 0 to AA. Dot product y I cap dot dx I cap means y dx plus x j cap dot dy j cap means x dy. Okay, this is equal to minus k into, here this can be written as, you see, d of xy we can write now, because d of xy means differentiation of xy means x into dy plus y into dx, because it is a UV method, product of two variables. When you differentiate the product of two variables, then we can write this y dx plus x dy can be written as d of xy. D of xy means as differentiation of two variables here. First you have to keep one variable x constant, then differentiate this y. So x into dy plus y you keep constant and differentiate x, then you will get y into dx. So this can be written as x into dy plus y into dx. That is only there now. So this can be written like this. So limits 0, 0, a comma a. Therefore minus k into integral dx means x, integral d of xy means xy. Limits 0, 0, a comma a. This is equal to minus k into, first you substitute upper limits. Instead of x you write a, y also a. That's why a into a square. Before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0. That's why 0. Therefore work done is equal to minus k into a square. Work done is equal to minus k into a square. Okay, Siddharth. Okay, you have done already, no? Okay, Ganesh. Right. Next, seventh problem, more than one option. Sorry, third problem, more than one option problem. Okay, next. You see the third problem? All of you see the third problem? Okay. A constant force F acts on a moving body along a smooth quarter circular arc of radius r fixed on horizontal surface. Calculate the work done by force F from A to B. If force F always points towards B, then work done is so and so. Force F always acts tangentially, then work done is equal to Fr pi by B2. If force F always acts parallel to AB, work done is F into root 2R. If the force F always acts parallel to AB, work done is 0. Okay, I think already I discussed in the concepts only. Now all of you look at the board. All of you look at the board. So here a constant force F acts on a moving body along the smooth quarter of circular arc like this of radius capital R. Here this distance is capital R, radius is capital R. It is the circular arc of the circular path or quadrant of the circular path along which the body travel. Body travel along this path by a constant force F. Okay, now calculate the work done by force from A to B. Whenever the body displaces from A to B, what is the total work done by the applied force? In first option, here, if the force F always points towards B, here whatever the direction of motion of the body, if the force always acts on a body towards B. Suppose when the body lies here, if the body lies here, the velocity direction is this one along tangential direction, but the force always acts towards the point B. In that case, already we derived here. Whenever the force, video is coming now. Please respond. Are you getting video properly or not? Students, you respond. Okay, we are getting. Okay, check your system. Right. Here, whatever the direction of motion of the body along this path, wherever it lies, the force is always towards the fixed point B. That means it is the conservative force. It is the conservative force. In case of conservative force, the work done W is equal to force acts on a body towards point B and displacement of the body from A to B, because the body travels from A to B, no? So from A to B, whenever the body travel, what is the displacement of the body between A and B? That is equal to root 2 R, no? Root 2 R. That's why into root 2 R. Already we did by integration method. In concepts I explained in clear. By integration method we did that problem. Okay, that's why. But here I am doing directly. I did the problem directly here. But in concepts I explained by integration method also. Okay, in case of conservative force, the work done depends on the initial position and final position of the body only. And moreover, force is always towards point B. That's why force into, when the body travels from A to B, what is the displacement means root 2 R. This is the work done in first case. Already it is there. So option A is correct. Next, option B. If force F always acts tangentially, in next case, the force is always acting on the body tangentially. So whenever the body travel like this, at any instant, velocity of the body is in this direction and force also in this direction. That means always along tangential direction when force acts, then for each and every element of the path, the work done is equal to force into displacement like that. That's why total work done. This case also I discussed. Force into along the tangential direction, what is the distance traveled means this total path of this total length of this path, that is equal to 1/4 of the circumference, because it is a quadrant of the circle, no? That's why 2 pi r by 4. Therefore that is equal to F into pi r by 2. This is the work done. Already I said this point also, I think. F pi r by 2, that is also correct. Next, C, we have to verify the option C also. We have to verify option C also. Vamshi Krishna, you are not getting video. What about Siddharth? Are you getting video properly or not? Siddharth, Pingu. Yes. Okay, they are getting. Vamshi Krishna, you check your system. Okay. Next, option C, we have to verify. In option C, if force F always acts parallel to AB, here you see, this is AB, this is A, this is B. Whenever the body lies here, the velocity of the body is along tangential direction, but the force acts on the body is always parallel to AB. Parallel to AB. Okay. In this case, what is the work done? Whenever the body travels from A to B, along the direction of applied force is parallel to AB, no? When applied force is parallel to AB, along the direction of applied force, what is the displacement of the body whenever it travels from A to B? That is equal to root 2 R only, no? Because it is R, it is root 2 R. Along this, always the force is along this direction. Along this direction, what is the displacement of the body when it travels from A to B? That is equal to root 2 R. That's why into displacement, yes. F into displacement is root 2 into R. So in both the case, this is also correct, but it is not given. So this is also correct. A, B, C are correct. When C is correct, D is wrong, no? If force F always acts parallel to AB, work done is 0 given. So that is not correct. Okay. Right. Madhur Mehta, video is getting already, almost all students getting video. So I think problem with your mobile or your system only. You check your mobile or system. Okay, Madhur Mehta. Right. You do the fourth problem. Okay, here in the fourth problem, it is given that work done with the force on the object is 0. work done by the force on the object is 0. In which case, if work done by force on the object is 0, if the force is always perpendicular to the acceleration, force is always perpendicular to the acceleration. Actually, acceleration lies along the direction of the force only. Okay, I will share the screen. I forgot. Okay, you see the fourth problem. The force is always perpendicular to the acceleration. Actually, acceleration is always along the direction of applied force only. Okay, so that is not correct. Force is always, whatever the direction, force is always along the direction of acceleration only. Next, the object is stationary, but the point of application of force move on the object. Whenever the point of application of the force displaces, definitely the work is done. Already I said in the definition of the work done only. When does the work is said to be done by the force? Whenever the point of application of the force displaces along the direction of applied force, then work is done. Already I said. So that is also not correct. No, the work done is there here. No, zero work is not correct. The force is always perpendicular to its velocity. The work done by the force on the object is 0 if the force is always perpendicular to the velocity. Whenever the force acts on a body is perpendicular to velocity, in that case, work done is 0 only, no? Next, the object moves in such a way that the point of application of the force remains fixed. Even point of application of force remains fixed. In that case also, the work done is 0. I think C and D are correct. If the force is always perpendicular to its velocity, no work is done on the body because displacement is along velocity direction, whereas force is applied perpendicular to the direction of its velocity. That's why work done is 0. So C and D options are correct. C and D options are correct. Okay. Next, you see fifth problem. All of you see the fifth problem. First, all of you read that problem. All of you read fifth problem. Okay, I think fifth problem we cannot complete in time because it is a comprehensive type. So you see fifth problem today you do at your home. Okay. Next, it is homework. Fifth, no, you don't do fifth problem. Tomorrow I will explain. Okay, next in practice sheet you have to do. All of you see practice sheet problems. You see these are the practice sheet problems, I think. No. Okay, you see in practice sheet you have to do, in practice sheet problems you note down. In practice sheet problems you have to do these problems. In level 1, 1 to 6, level 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 3, you do these problems. In level 1, 1 PO to 6. In level 2, 1, 2 and 3 problems. Today you have to do these problems. Okay. Because even I start that fifth problem, we cannot complete within time. That's why I will stop here only. Okay, now option B. Okay, right. So today do homework. Already I sent the assignment and notes also I sent, I think. Okay, again today I will send again. So you see the concepts and you do the problems. Tomorrow we'll do some more problems. Okay, Nana, bye. Have a nice day. Take care of you. Okay, right.